All right, welcome to Astro News for January 2021. We made it, folks. Yeah. Well, welcome in to 2021. We made it, and all things are on the go. Now let's look at some of the aspects for January. And I think it's going to be a pretty good month, very powerful, but more than that, more stable. So I think y'all like that aspect as we come into it. And, just as powerful as 2021 was, but in a better way. I think it's going to be a more positive year. What we're going to get, or what you're going to see, is actually the resolve of what 2020 was all about. 2020 started all the chaos and confusion, and now we're left to clean it all up into a nice new present, a new box, which will be more beneficial for all of us in the long run. I promise you. Now, to get started, our Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that went off last month was a great conjunction, remember? That's when Jupiter, the good luck planet, and Saturn, the taskmaster, collided, and that caused another realm of another level of COVID. It caused our, remember we predicted this, we'd get another stimulus check. I told you that in November, and also that I thought that through that conjunction, which many astrologers did predict, that we would get the vaccine by the end of the year. And that's coming as it should be with the astrology. Jupiter and Saturn are now in Aquarius, ushering in the new age of Aquarius. It's going to be a much better time than it has been in Pisces. The Jupiter will be in Aquarius for 1 year. And it took 12 years to get there, and Saturn will be in Aquarius for 2 years. Now, the Venus, Mars, and Mercury will be changing this month. You will feel all this energy, I promise you. If you're the least bit empathic, you're going to feel all this blend of energy changing and shifting around. But it's for the good. Venus is going into Capricorn. That means more practical type of love situation. Maybe your romantic yearnings kind of get more down to earth, and you can see and make decisions better in your love life. It'll be more pragmatic and more of a practical overtone. Mars is going into Taurus. That's, again, another earth sign, more level-headed, more practical. Taurus is a much more easier blend than it was in Aries. Mars was in Aries for the last 6 months. I'm sure all the Arians are tired of it, so it's bye-bye for all the Arians. So all the Taurians will get it. That means possibly a more activity in the home, as if you couldn't guess that. And also it could be friction in the home or tension in the home. Possibly because, hopefully not another close down, but we hope not. And Mercury is going into Aquarius. It's where we put our focus on and our thoughts. And Aquarius is about friendships and spiritual computers, the cutting edge, getting to a COVID discovery was very Aquarian. So, all these planets are shifting signs. So, and in February, we'll have 4 planets in Aquarius. That's the age of Aquarius being ushered in. Much more spiritual. Thank you. So the biggie this year will be that Saturn will be in conflict with Uranus 3 times. And those dates, and I'll get through that when we reach the months, but it will be February 17th, June 14th, and December 24th. of 2021. And that's like breaking habits, breaking old habits and going into new directions. It may have a little rebellion tied to it. It could be possibly your work wants you to learn new software, because Uranus does rule computers. It may be that you're, kind of backing off on that a little, that you don't want to do it. But my hat goes off to all these teachers that had to learn new software and actually was just pushed into the computer world in just like 1 or 2 weeks. So my hats go off to all the teachers of the world who had to start learning Zoom very fast, or whatever software that they had to learn. Also, the doctors and nurses, all the patients that they've been seeing all through 2020, they had to, stick all that information into the computer. So again, my hat's off to that. And that's all Uranus. Uranus is rebellion. So, it could be that the work situation, the government, since Saturn left Capricorn, it's out of the government world, but it's now into more of the social systems. So the new moon will take place on the 12th, and that's going to be in Capricorn. Again, more energy, more Capricorn energy, which is solidarity, very sure. You can always count on Capricorn energy. It's a very reliable energy. It also rules the government and work. So you know how I always tell you that you should make a wish or make many wishes or goals, put it in a little satchel or box and put it in a drawer at the 24 hours before the new moon, and it will come to be. So the 4 planets are going to go into Aquarius. And remember I told you that December 6th ushered in the 5th dimension? We were in the 3rd dimension. We've been growing for 40 some years into, more than that, into the to the 4th dimension, and now we're finally reaching the 5th dimension. We will be able to see things without our naked eyes. We're going to rely more on the intuition. That's a good thing. We may see more UFOs. UFOs were just seen in Hawaii. I believe it was Oahu. In 180 days from now, we'll have a report on that. People know what they saw. You can't tell them they didn't see it. And I think even government is a little afraid that they hope it is the UFOs, because if it isn't, then we need to look at the other countries and how they're building their crafts, because these crafts were going pretty fast and pretty solid. So these are some of the things that are going to come up in the age of Aquarius in the 5th dimension. You probably will have more dreams of your loved ones on the other side, and possibly see more. I think that there will be a new life species discovered through the 5th dimension in our lifetime. That will be good, because we can't think that we're the only life. Please save us. So that's all going to happen, and it will be more practical once all these planets are in Aquarius. Now the Sun and Venus is in Capricorn as we speak. Again, that's bringing more practicality to this month. You will feel like you have your feet on the ground finally, and maybe creating new goals for yourself, new things that you'd like to accomplish for this year. On the 17th, Jupiter will square Uranus. Uranus is rebellion. Jupiter is multiply. It could be possibly some more civil unrest, or possibly a new COVID close down. There could be a lot of rebellion around that. So we'll have to see what the 17th brings. Some of my predictions this year will be that gold and silver will rise. I think that will be the common element to go to for economic growth. I see more light workers happening. I think insurance eventually will cover light work, whether it be acupuncture, acupressure, or Reiki. I think that will be a common practice coming into the Aquarian age, and I think insurances will cover it because more people will demand it. I do feel that COVID will get under control this year, and it will be a fading process. More systematic overhaul will happen. We've already had the teaching, the education overhaul. We're having that now. We've had the political overhaul and the police. We're experiencing now a police overhaul. And I do believe that the judicial system will come to light. Social media may be overhauled a bit. The economic system definitely will change as the years go by. So there's a lot to look forward to in the Aquarian age. I once saw a movie where everybody was tied to their social media outlet, their computers and whatnot, and they only took off the wires to go to the bathroom and eat. I hope it doesn't come to that. So please, parents, please remember nature and teach your kids about nature and how important it is for Mama Earth, and that we still want to restore our parks and keep everything in nature in balance. Remember that the human element is just one element. It's not everything. And we soon will know that we're not alone. So thank you for tuning in to our news. We love our news because it is more accurate than the mainstream news. And be with me on Thursday night at 8, where we have all the signs. And we definitely will be going through all the signs on Thursday at 8 o'clock on Facebook Live. So be with me then. We're going to do some mini readings afterwards. So aloha, namaste, aho, ashe.